Hello Trewsers, sorry for the sporadic irregularity of the Trews. This is an interesting time. I'm writing a stand-up show. We're trying to bring down the establishment with campaigns that some people think are brilliant and other people think are a bit crazy. They're probably a combination of both. I can just get into the mainframe. I'm in the mainframe. Now remember in the last episode, I thought, why don't we do a campaign that's sort of weird and unusual? I've been talking to lots of groups about it. I've been talking to Muslim groups, I've been talking to lots of young people in London groups, I've even been talking to some former members of the police force and some big protest groups about how this campaign could work and how it could have an impact. Let's not worry about old Russ, what he says. As you know, I'm an impish figure, always living on the fly, sometimes drinking a bit too much cough mixture. I'm the new Lil Wayne, he loves that stuff. I've got a cough, I'm not very well. So let's listen to some of your comments. Hashtag love the police comments. Eric Osborne, very brave and forward-thinking idea, Russell. Yeah, why not get people organised in favour of the police? Now the police are getting paid dodgy, they're seeing their jobs taken away from them, they're losing their overtime, losing their pensions. Maybe there's a fissure through which we can enter. And as Leonard Cohen says, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. I was an officer of 10 years, says Eric Osborne, and due to outrageous policy changes, pension changes and the way we were treated, I chose to quit. The government is intentionally destroying the police force, resulting in the gradual introduction of a much more sufficient private police force to eventually take it over. A little bit like what's happening to the NHS. What will happen if private firms are running the police force? You think that you've got a problem with the police now? Apparently every policeman takes an oath to uphold the common law of this land. It's only a few things they're really allowed to do. Prevent breaches of the peace and some stuff to do with violence. For example, most time people are evicted from their homes by the police. It shouldn't even be happening. Now, I think that the majority of police officers, if they knew that, wouldn't want to participate in it. I believe that the police join for the right reason. There's probably a small margin of people, like people that really twisted my nipples badly when I was getting nicked a few times, that are doing it so they can have power over people. But I reckon most people are doing it for community, and it's those police that we're reaching out to. It's those police that we want to reclaim. Also appears the police have no union. Oh, if we did, we'd have been striking every bloody week due to long working hours, our private lives being taken away, overwork, the list goes on. Also appears that the government likes to use the police as a scapegoat, blame the police for this, blame the police for that, and of course the public fall for it every time because the public do not like the police. That's why this is an interesting campaign, you see. I urge the public to look at what you're being told in the press. I acknowledge that the police, he says fuck up here, so that's a policeman swearing from time to time, but they do not fuck up all the time. The day the police have a union and can strike is the day the government will use an army on our streets. Jet Gorilla. You have seriously lost it, Russell. You want people to get together and protest workers' rights for the police? Most people don't get shit like overtime and pension. Fuck the police. They are the protectors of private inheritance and the status quo. They don't like their jobs, they should fucking quit. And less of the oppressors' grunts we'll have to deal with. Do you really think, though, that would work, mate? That if the police started to... if less and less people join the police force, all you'll get is more and more private security firms. What I'm interested in, Jet Gorilla, is ways of changing the dynamic. How long has the protest movement been feeling this way? We hate the police hate us. Stasis, we hate the police hate us. What happens if you change it to, we love the police? Immediately, something has changed. Ben Kelly. Fucking awesome idea, Russell. Very cool indeedio. In Australia could we do this? Our police have guns and shit. Our cops are alright, but they work to create revenue for the establishment with little knowing of the injustice they cause on a daily basis. Do you think we would get away with this in Australia? I will be supportive of the project if we can get it off the ground. The idea is to do these things globally, to create new global communities, and it's based on the assumption that human beings are good. If you don't live in faith that change is possible, if you don't live in faith that people are beautiful, you are living in another faith. Faith that the world is a negative place. Faith that people are not good. Faith that darkness lies ahead. We are all living according to a program of one kind or another. We're all living in faith of one kind or another. Our only option is it going to be positive or negative? And I think this is time to create positive change. Daniel Smith, a protest on behalf of the police, that's an interesting idea and definitely worth a go. I'll provide the PA system, Russell, free of charge for you. Please email, what's the email address, Jenny? Love the police at trews.media. You back on drugs, Russell, says Wide Bebok. Guy I grew up with became a cop, turned into a right C, asterisk. I am back on good old cough medicine. Little cough medicine. I'm not on this. I've had the recommended dose, which is a small amount, and it does seem to be stopping this awful cough I've had. If we get to imagine the realisation of this. thousands of people in Parliament Square or Liberty Square or the squares of Sydney and Melbourne, squares all over the world, campaigning for the right for the police to be treated properly. What it sort of demonstrates, like particularly if it gets to the point where the police are arresting them for protesting for their own rights, is it exposes the true nature of our power dynamic. This comes from having participated in delivering signatures like a good little boy to Downing Street, marching along. At some point, you have to look at how we're going to change this. At some point. Why not now? Robert West. Russell, the police are cunts. It's not just because they're doing the government's bidding. Most of them are school bullies who aren't clever enough but smart enough to realise that law enforcement is the only way they'll be able to hold power they once had when they were bigger than the other guy no one was looking. There are a few good ones out here, but overall they're cunts. I mean, I see what you mean, mate. I think a lot of times, I know that sometimes my job is an expression of the darker aspects of my nature. Sometimes what I'm doing is, oh, I need attention or whatever. But Robert West, we have to try and find a way to believe that there is good in people. We have to elevate the good. We have to elevate the better aspects of our consciousness. I believe we can do it, Robert West. Darwin 42. I mean, if you can get the police on board with the radical socialist revolution, why not? They are workers too. And what's the alternative? What's the alternative in any situation? As it like people very well experienced and people with a lot of understanding of this situation have explained to me that if it just comes to the point where the police just start arresting people, then that's it. That's the end game. Full stop. Stalemate. The police just came in then momentarily, but they saw that I was defending them and they thought, you know. So look, this is not something where I know what the right thing to do is. This is an experimental kind of, what is it? It's a happening, man. No, it's kind of like, what happens if you do unusual things? What happens? Do I believe that most people in the police force are good people? Yes, I do, actually. I do. I believe they're ordinary people that are working for an institution that's kind of lost its way. Do I believe that most MPs deep down are good people? Yes, actually. I believe everybody is. So make decisions on that basis and try to manifest that reality. This could be the beginning of a brilliant new social movement inspired by a radical fourth best thinker in the world. Or it could be I've just had a bit too much cough mixture. What is the true news? Who knows? Subscribe here. Email us at lovethepolice with your ideas. We'll come to you with some excellent new stuff. We've been in touch with ex-police officers, current police officers, brilliant protest groups. Participate in whatever way you can, even if you're suspicious of whether or not it can work. True news. Oh, no, I don't trust the police. Come on, Binky. Come live in my tum. Not really, I've had enough.